And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 70th episode of the IGC podcast. I am, as always, your host, Gray Geraldin, and with us today, I guess our usual crew, right? Mr. Core Contingency, representative of the PC Master Race, is here with me tonight.
Wait. What are we doing here? We're talking about video games, right?
Eventually, we will talk about video games, yes.
All right.
And other things. And also, Trophy Hunter AI Monster is here today as well.
Yep.
PlayStation Trophy Hunter, I should say.
That's what a trophy is, PlayStation. Steam has, what do they have? Just achievements, I think?
Sometimes they look like little trophies. And we have trading cards. Steam has trading cards.
And badges, all their bullshit.
Right, badges. You get to create badges when you do stuff and whatever. And also with us today, joining us at the very last minute here, is Papa J. How you doing, Papa?
Excellent. I've determined that my presence brings up the amount of swearing on the podcast by at least 300%.
Oh, yeah?
And it's not all from me.
Who knew? I sure didn't. You are a rare guest these days, but you're always welcome to stop by. We're glad to have you. I believe Chocobro is dying of the plague currently, so he is unfortunately not here. And who knows?
He's got the late summer flu there or something going on.
Yeah, he's had it since at least Thursday. I thought you would have shaken it by now, but he didn't even respond. So chances are he's taking a nice deep nap somewhere, hopefully where it's cool.
Hopefully not 6 feet under either.
Oh, hopefully.
Oh, you talk about cool. I don't want to even hear about it. It's been 112 out here consistently for the last week.
Yeah. I mean, it's only been like 95 in New York, but man, the humidity.
I am blessed with a brand new air conditioner system, which is paying for itself every day.
I'm glad you worked that problem out, because that sounded pretty scary.
It was done, dude. It was a $6,000 AC replacement, and it was worth every penny.
Well, now that you've been chilling in the nice, cool air,
that's right.
What have you been laying back and playing?
So we talked about this one on the last podcast. I was looking at this game called Earth Defense Force 4.1, which is a game long in the lineage of this series, but has kind of been like the penultimate version of this game. And I can't even begin to describe this game. It's like a mashup of like Starship Troopers meets like cheesy anime with like mech warrior aspects. The game is just absolutely fun. You go into the game and you're you start out as a little foot soldier and you're fighting these giant insects, like basically giant ants. And as the game progresses, you work your way up to like giant ants, to giant spiders, to giant mechanized like Godzilla type robots, and it is just an absolute blast. Like, it's cheesy, yes, in like the dialogue and the story, but the missions are actually really well done. Graphically, the game isn't anything terribly spectacular, but the sheer amount of like mobs and enemies they're able to put on the screen at one time is absolutely phenomenal. I've just been absolutely enjoying this game.
This was a Vita game, by the way.
This is a Vita game. Well, it's been upgraded to some extent, but yeah, I mean, running it at 1440p on a G-Sync monitor at max res, max detail, max physics. This game is just so much fun to play. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, how many games out there can you say that have like cheesy anime dialogue? Like, they're like, look, the enemy is coming. We must deal with the enemy. You must proceed here and do this. And you're like, okay, I'm totally on board with that. And you go do it. But I mean, it just works. And AI Monster said he was going to pick this one up and play it co-op with me, and he didn't. And I'm a little sad about that.
Did not say that.
Guilty.
You did too. You totally did too.
I said I might pick it up. I said,
okay,
but it was way too expensive for a game that was released a few years ago.
It was like $30.
PS4.
Like 30, 35, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I could get this on PS4 cheaper.
Now, the game has drawbacks. It tends to, as I kind of see here on the Twitch video, which is probably 15 seconds behind me, it sends you into underground levels where it's really, really dark, and all you've got is a flashlight, and you may have a squad with you, or you may not, and you've got to deal with these massive, insane, mobs of robots or insects. But it works out. tutorial-wise, the game is not very forthcoming on what exactly you need to do to complete your objective, but you figure it out. And I don't know, man. Like, this game is it's got everything. You're this one ground soldier against the world, basically, with maybe some squads of helpers, and you've got this immense weapons pool that you can pull from. Like, so if you run into a mission and you're like, my weapons fucking suck on this mission, you go, okay, fuck this, back out, go in, pick out some crazy ass weaponry, and go back in. There's like 800 weapons in the game. And so depending on which class you're playing, there's 4 classes. Each class has its own selection of weapons. You're totally capable of going in there and completing this mission to your style. It's one of those games where it's like, it's not a great game, but it's so well built in the fact that you can customize your player character to complete the missions to your own preferences.
Sounds like this has really captivated you.
It has. I stuck like 12 hours into it over the last week or so.
Oh wow,
that's rare.
Yeah,
I don't have 12 hours to just really stick into games these days, but this one worked.
It's got staying power. You keep playing it. I mean,
yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable, and I hope some other bastards pick it up so we can play it co-op, because apparently co-op this thing really shines.
Well, damn, I'm pretty surprised. I mean, I think the biggest positive I've heard out of this game, besides everything you've said, it's kind of to piggyback on one of the things you said, was the amount of stuff you can actually render on your screen now. This has been a Vita title in the past, right? I think there was some versions on PlayStation as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, could be.
PS4 and Vita.
Trying to run a lot of models on a screen, a lot of performance issues, and the PC of this game, PC port or whatever this game has, that's not really an issue, even in like mid-range to higher up cards. So people seem to be enjoying this one quite a bit, because it kind of fulfills like what this game initially was trying to do, with like long draw distance and big screens, big models on screen, and lots of enemies and stuff. So sounds like this was a pretty good one.
It's definitely like gives you that Starship Troopers kind of that feel, along with like the heavy anime dialogue going on. It works. It's a good game. There's very few negatives I could say about it. The negatives are the models, in the cities are fairly low detail. Like, if you're used to playing the Call of Duty games, the Battlefield games, and used to these immensely detailed cities, you're gonna be disappointed. But the fact of the matter is, these cities, they come down. You can blow up buildings. Like, if there's a bunch of mobs behind a building and you're like, okay, the best thing I can do is take down this building and throw some grenades behind that building, then you can do it.
Cool.
You can totally knock that building down, toss some grenades behind it.
It's something that you think we could do on a game night once the price comes down, maybe a little bit?
Oh, easily. This is a perfect Friday night.
Got good multiplayer?
Game. Yes.
Okay. Better than Artemis Bridge Simulator, though?
That's a tough call, but it would probably be a little more exciting for you to watch.
Papa, you make me want to play that game right now that you mentioned it. I don't know if you were here when I was lushing over the Ubisoft Star Trek Bridge Commander thing.
I was.
Oh man, we're gonna start the game night again soon, and man, that is gonna be.
Game night is coming again soon. I think it's gonna be a bi-weekly event.
I'm gonna start something this Friday, actually.
Okay.
I meant to talk about that at one point.
Night, but...
It's gonna be Friday or Saturday. I have to take a little bit of a poll to see what's going on there. I told the leaders to do that, but yeah, it's coming back, and Artemis Bridge Simulator is gonna be one of those games that's definitely on the list of things to play.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one.
This could be too if the price came down a little bit. $30 is kind of a big investment to make.
I suspect if they do a fall Steam sale, it will be down there. They will most certainly do a winter Steam sale, and it will come down significantly.
Yeah, that would be favorable for everyone involved.
But aside from that, I picked up the early access game that we've all been kind of watching for the last 6 months to a year here.
Wow.
The We Happy Few.
I don't know about all of us, but
I think
some of us have been watching it.
So the We Happy Few, this is one kind of surprised us. It's kind of a bad sign. They decided to take the game into early access mode. That's generally bad when you're trying to get a published game and it goes into early access. That means we can't finish this game. We need money. But the amount of work that they've done on this game, it really surprised me. I went in this one tepidly, kind of watched a bunch of Let's Plays before I decided to jump into this one, and I'm happy I did. I truly am. This is a BioShock meets like your standard survival kind of game where you've got to jump into a game and craft things and eat and drink, sleep, and survive. But it's got that whole BioShock story behind it. And it's this crazy Orwellian universe where you're in the United Kingdom that basically the entire populace is segregated into like two castes. Basically, the people who are taking this drug called joy, which makes their lives seem like happy and glad. Like if anything's wrong, it doesn't matter. And then you've got the cast of the downers, and the downers are the people who are not on joy, and they're just like, this place fucking sucks.
Because it does.
Because it does. Because it really truly does. And so it gives you. I'm gonna lay it out right here right now. Within the first 5 minutes of the game, it gives you an option: take the joy or don't take the joy. It's like the red pill, blue pill. So you take the joy, game over. And if you don't take the joy, then game goes forward, which is kind of an interesting choice, But yeah, after that, I mean,
is it really a choice then?
Well, no, it's really not. And that's what I was hoping. I was hoping you'd take the joy and it would like send you off in this alternate like joy path. But no, they just chose to end the game right there, and which is kind of a downer. But I don't know, man. This game is fun. It's got a character and a charisma that a lot of survival games lack. I mean, you go out there and you're joyless, obviously, and you're crafting weapons and you're trying to survive, and you're interacting with the characters who may or may not be on joy. And of course, there's like the police who are always on joy, and if they detect you're a downer, you're in deep, deep shit.
Despite what the games media felt about it before this game actually sort of got out there and people figured out what it was really about, people seem pretty high on this game, and all I've been hearing this past week about it since it went into early access is a lot of criticism. A lot of it has to do with the game only really being 50% complete, according to the developer, and that's what you're playing in early access. But on top of that, having seen the video and hearing you talk about it, and also reading a lot of reviews and hearing a lot of people talk about it this past week, there's been some confusion too about really what this game is. So you're saying it's a survival type of game, but I feel like after watching the gameplay stuff at E3, I thought it was more like a puzzle, mystery, murder kind of game, and I think other people may have had the impression that it was anything but a survival type of game.
Yeah,
and that's what we've got now, and I don't know what that's about.
I think
basically Fallout 4
thought it was going to be a like BioShock, kind of on rails story-wise game where the stories revealed to you as you go along from point to point, but it's really not. It's much more freeform. You're free to they basically give you a goal, but they don't give you a waypoint. They're like, here, you need to go talk to this guy or go find this thing, and okay, go find him. And he's not marked on your map. He's not on your radar. So you got to survive while you work your way through these townsends and cities and whatnot to try to find your next goal. It's not BioShock. If you think this game is BioShock, you are wrong. This is not the experience you're going to get. Think like DayZ, think like any other survival game out there. That is the core element of this game. It is a survival game. You have to loot shit. You have got to go after and kill people, take their stuff, and craft gear to progress in this game. You will not just be able to run through this thing, acquire credits, kill mobs, get stuff from loot machines, and keep progressing. It does not work like that.
See, but the thing is, even with the trailer we're looping here, you don't get any of that from this.
No,
that it's a survival game, and I feel like going into early access may have been the worst thing that happened to it. I mean, we know number one reason is monetary.
I think it's a better thing.
But it's good too, because then it kind of shows the product for what it is. This is actually what you're buying, and I think a lot of people are now understanding that's not what this game. What they thought this game was is not what this game is, and that might leave a bad taste in some people's mouths too. You can refund stuff on Steam now, guys. So, I don't know how to feel about this one. It's definitely a turn off to me because I don't want to play one of those games again.
But
do that.
What, Gray? What are you playing right now?
I will talk about what I'm playing.
But I mean,
keep your pants on.
No.
This game is basically Fallout 4 survival mode.
You want me to talk about what I'm playing?
No. This is seriously Fallout 4 survival mode here.
Oh, well, we'll talk more about Fallout 4 survival mode, but okay, yeah. So we happy few. It's not what you thought it was. It's more survival than anything else. You're saying,
right? Yeah, heavy on the survival. It's early access. The AI is utterly stupid. It's, if you're a relatively intelligent human being, this game is not going to challenge you right now. The only reason to play this game in early access is if you really want to kind of start to experience the story and maybe help develop the actual development of this game. But yeah, don't pick this game up right now if you want a full, complete release title. Understand it is early access, and it means everything early access means. It's not complete. It's not feature complete. It's basically an alpha.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been following the game, and I knew it was basically Fallout 4 survival mode. But yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to purchase this or not right yet. I like the theme of the game. It looks great. The jars make it look really good. But
I will say this:
I've seen
having fun with
gameplay,
it,
and the gameplay is
but
kind of,
I cannot recommend anybody else pick it up.
yeah, the gameplay right now is just kind of
Shame.
yeah. It needs a little bit more work. It can definitely improve. I mean, I think this is like a game that should probably take advantage of early access.
It'll get there.
Yeah, I'm
Like I
hoping.
said, it's like 50% of a game right now.
I'd say about like 40%.
Well, I mean, that's coming from the developer itself. Like, this game's about 50% of the in-game world. In-game world, rather, is there. In terms of anything else that we don't really know, that's just the quote that they had. Half the world is in the game right now. But at least it gives people something to understand what the game really is. Hey, Papa. You still alive, man?
Maybe.
We don't really hear from you a whole lot, so what have you been up to the past couple of weeks?
Well, I learned how to fight fires. Learned an entire nuclear power plant's electrical distribution system.
How about video game-wise?
You asked what I was up to. That takes up a lot of time, good sir.
I'm sure it does.
What? There's like the fire triangle. How long does that take to learn, dude?
The fire triangle, not a very long time, but everything else, kind of. But point being, not a whole lot of game time going in, but I did get a couple matches of Rocket League in before the podcast. That's actually why I came in last minute. I got upset with the loss.
Oh.
I heard Rocket League has some updates here.
They do. It's kind of been out since the last podcast, but only to console peasantry and people who didn't already have the game. They pre-released their, I believe, like the collector's edition or whatever, the game, which had some new cars and stuff that came with it. But again, you couldn't get that for the first 3 weeks of July unless you actually didn't already have the game. So props to those guys who held out for a year. You all suck. And now I got to pay $2 for each of those 4 new cars.
And the game has been on sale a lot, too. So I guess you're trying to offset the cost a little bit.
But I mean, still, it kind of sucks I didn't get to play with the new cars, and I still don't because I got better stuff to spend $8 on, like lunch.
That's true. That is lunch right there.
And coffee, because we ran low in the training classroom, and man, you just can't work without a fresh supply of coffee. It's literally impossible. I don't know if you guys have tried.
There is a very interesting article by a bunch of Civil War historians who went through and basically parsed all these Civil War historical letters from soldiers, and among anything else they found, bullets, kills, death, war, battlefield, all they found, like the most talked about word, like the most referenced word in all these Civil War letters was coffee.
Yeah, you need coffee to stay up in the morning and kill people, so important.
Yeah.
Were we talking about video games here?
I'm just saying
Mountain
how
Dew impression.
important coffee is to
Coffee is disgusting. I don't drink coffee.
Mountain Dew.
I do play Rocket League, though.
You're a communist.
I do play Rocket League.
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
I actually played a lot of Rocket League. I think I'm a much better doubles player than I am in standard. I hate getting put in like a match
Confirmed.
with like 2 other players who are in a team and you're like the third man out. I hate that shit because they don't understand what the concept of a 3-man team is. But doubles I find very enjoyable. Except when you get that guy who doesn't understand that the ball only belongs in 2 places in doubles. either in front of both of you or between both of you, never behind both of you.
Really?
And guys who don't know how to cycle properly, like, a cycle is like a hockey or like a soccer term. I think it's more of a hockey term. Guys who don't know how to cycle properly in the corner, like, they're terrible players. And you run across quite a few of those, even in the higher up ranks.
Gray, I'm going to go a little bit ahead of you. I think the ball belongs in the enemy's goal.
Yes, but when you haven't scored the ball, it should either be in front of both of you or between both of you.
Well, if you haven't scored the ball, that's all the more reason to put it in the goal.
Listen, you have to do a goddamn kickoff, okay? You got to play defense sometimes.
Defense is for sissies.
It's just how it goes. But Rocket League is still Rocket League. It's still a lot of fun. I've noticed over time they've made quite a few little physics-based changes to the game, though. Like, maybe I'm going crazy, but I feel like the ball bounces a lot differently now than it did 6 months ago in terms of, like, bank shots and watching people
No, they
hit the
definitely
ball.
cleaned up the physics.
They've changed a lot of stuff, right?
They've added apps, which
I heard there's been a lot of significant
fucks up
pushback.
your way of interpreting ball physics, because they have like bank things now. So you're going up, but it's like, oh my god, I'm going too fast over this like banked hill that leads to like a plateau that then leads to the wall. So you get like Neo Tokyo.
Neo Tokyo is the worst fucking Rocket League map ever created.
Dude, that's a competitive map now too. Like,
that is a terrible map.
It is no, dude. There have been worse. Have you played Rocket Labs? Go play Rocket Labs. See some of that crap they're pushing out.
I avoid Rocket Labs.
It's fun stuff. Hoops is pretty cool. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff with it. But some of these maps, you just want to go out back and shoot yourself with a 12 gauge, because it is cancerous.
For those who don't know what Neo Tokyo is, instead of the map being a complete flat field, it has two humps. So basically the map has 3 zones. It has a flat, like about 2/3 of the map in the middle, or maybe half the map is flat, and then it has these like humps, that like hills that flatten out again on either side of the map. So it has tiers on either side, and it's just awful. Like you can't drive, you can't do the same kind of stuff you can in this map. It's a smaller field in terms of length across as well. Just a really bad map in general, and it's terrible.
Short
for
and
doubles.
stout, like the little teapot.
Yeah, it's one of the worst. Everyone I come across is always making a comment like before the first kickoff, like, "Oh, this freaking map again." It's terrible. It used to be that way with Chaos Run, which is the big Mad Max theme map, because the corners of the map are actually slightly sloped upwards, so you can't.
As are the sides of the field. There's a slight slant to those as well, but
so it's like a bowl shape kind of.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to like Tokyo's geometry. Like I said, I've never gone into a ranked match where that has Neo Tokyo as the map for that match and not have at least half the players in the game.
Yeah, everyone hates that map. It's terrible. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Now, I was going to ask this. I know that Psyonix and Microsoft has been making like extensive inbound into doing cross-platform play, but I think we have a story here that didn't make the actual news, but the only holdout for the cross-platform play is Sony. Yeah.
It was actually, we could have talked about it in the last podcast. Microsoft said that the Switch was on and ready for them to do it, and Sony they were just waiting on Sony's input. I don't know if it got flipped on yet.
It did not.
It hasn't yet. So
no, I
very
only see
interesting.
PlayStation dudes and yeah.
Well, on
PC
you get both.
Dudes.
On PC you get both, but on the consoles you only get PC. So
the Witcher developers were pushing that for Gwent as well. They're really pushing.
Yeah.
So basically, Psyonix is trying to get cross-platform play between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and PlayStation is the holdout.
Currently, yeah, PC and PlayStation can queue together. I don't know if Xbox players actually are in the queue right now on PC.
I don't think so.
Last I heard they
weren't.
weren't.
Check my options, but yeah, like you said last.
Have you been stopping everybody? Well, that would be a good indication right there.
No. I mean, the game doesn't matter whether you play on a gamepad or keyboard. In fact, the gamepad is optimized. Like, this game is way optimized for gamepad.
Exactly. You would be getting stopped by the Xbox players.
Why would you be getting stopped by the Xbox players?
So I win a gamepad, bro.
They're better.
I get my ass stomped.
Yeah, it's all the same shit to me. Honestly, that game's terrible on a keyboard. I would never ever do that. Yeah, Rocket League's still going strong. You know, it did take quite a dip when Overwatch came out. The queues were much longer. A lot of people went to go try that out, I think, and they ended up just coming back because this week the queues have been much better. But trying to play through that Overwatch launch about a month ago, and really up until the last podcast we had
That's
2
like
weeks
every
ago,
Blizzard game
was
though.
awful. It was awful. It was like 5-6 minute queues, which is long for Rocket League. I mean, you get in a game in like 20, 30 seconds. And it was long, and you'd get some really crappy freaking players too. You can always tell when there's a lull in the population because, like, the longer you search for a match, the wider the range of
It's so
skill it
very
matches you
polarized.
with.
So you will either truck people or you will get trucked.
Yeah, and that was what was happening because it wasn't putting you in people of the same division. It was putting people like 3 divisions below you in the same match, and you were waiting 5 minutes to play that garbage game, and it was just really bad. But now things are back to normal on Rocket League, and happy for that because I was playing earlier today too, and much of last night, and it's been great. It's been really still a really fun game. And if you want to support the developer, go buy the $2 cars if you really want to. Completely up to you. Most of actually, let's talk. Why don't you talk about what you've been playing? You've been kind of quiet, so why don't we? Unless you want me to talk about Fallout. I mean, I'll talk about Fallout.
I guess I'll talk about what I've been playing.
All right. What are we starting with here?
I'll start with Under Night and Burr.
All right.
I talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. I'm
You
not
certainly
going
did.
to talk too much about it. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. Fortunately, Papa won't play because he's busy.
Oh, that's the fighting game, right?
Yeah. So I don't really have anybody to play against. So I play against a really shitty AI in the game.
I watched them play against the AI. Like it is abysmal. Like watching that AI on its hardest difficulty was like I could hand this control to a 3-year-old and they could do better than that thing.
Button mashing
is
is better.
carcinogenic. That AI is like carcinogenic. It is cancerous. It really is. It's that terrible.
If the AI hits you, they
Jeez.
do like 4K damage every time. But that's if they hit you, which they never do.
Okay.
Like, they don't block for whatever reason, and they don't know how to get out of pressure strings and all the basics of playing fighting
Well,
games.
it's the AI. I mean,
They don't
good.
anti-air.
It was
Well,
good.
normally
You
the
wouldn't
AI
see
cheats.
competition in
It's easier
competition.
to fight a game. I mean, you ever Blaze Blue's AI is ridiculous on the hardest difficulty. But yeah, this game was not challenging at all. I played it for the first time, put the difficulty all the way up, and dominated the AI. I don't think I lost a single round. It was ridiculous.
You are pro gamer now.
No, I'm not. But yeah, I've been playing that. It's a pretty good fighting game.
And you've been trying to get other people to play with you. I know.
Yeah. So it would be a lot more fun if other people played it. I did play against Cell.
Gonna have to go find some people, I guess, out there. Bring in to play fighting games with you.
Maybe.
It's a conversation for later, I suppose.
So, not really a fighting game, but kind of a fighting game. I don't know. I was playing the import Japanese game Uppers, and that's another marvelous game. So yeah, you play as Japanese delinquents, and you have to impress girls by fighting people.
Oh, like real life. Okay.
Yes, like real life. But I mean, the game's all right. I'll talk about the good first. I do like the theme of the game. I don't think it hasn't been done in very many games before. Where you just kind of play as like, where you're playing as like Japanese delinquents. I don't know of any other games that really do that. I know there's one called like Kensha something Buko maybe.
So you're pretending to be like a badass and beat up other dudes who
Yeah,
think they're badasses, and
exactly like gangster.
you win chicks.
Yes. You have to impress the chicks by fighting well. I mean, that's how it works in real life, right?
It's exactly how it works. And I know that's how I've scored all my chicks. So
the game looks very good for a Vita game, and for the most part, it's fun. But course, you get to the end of the game, and there's massive grinds for achievements.
Yeah, it becomes repetitive as all.
Yeah, there's a lot of repetition in the game. In terms of like the other games from Marvelous, like Senran Kagura and Valkyrie Drive, it's the fan service isn't as it's not as ridiculous. I mean, there's Panty Roulette and shit like that, but
it's not as ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not as ridiculous.
Panty Roulette. What the hell is Panty Roulette?
Well, you see, when you do something impressive, the girl's skirts lift up from like the knocking somebody back and shit like that. You know, when physics. Right?
Yeah.
And, sometimes you see different panties, and then sometimes you play the panty lottery, and yeah.
Play that every night of the week.
In how many genres of games can you say panty lottery?
Just this one, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah,
that's going to be the name of this podcast episode now. It's Panty Lottery.
Now, the big problem with the fan service not being as over the top is like Senran Kagura and Valkyrie Drive is Senran Kagura and Valkyrie Drive are actually funny, and I didn't really find myself laughing at any of the dialogue in this game or anything like that. It's a bit too serious, I think. Even though did it take itself very seriously? It's not trying to take itself seriously, but it is.
I see.
It just doesn't work as well.
Oh,
and I think they could have really went over the top of this game, but they didn't.
No, there's just Panty Lottery, and that's perfectly reasonable.
Yes, perfectly reasonable.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So now, do you want to hear me lush about Fallout 4 and all that shit, or
didn't we hear about that last 2 weeks?
Well, you heard about it 2 weeks ago when I was still very much in my survival mode infancy. I will tell you this. You guys had a major complaint about the fast travel last time, right? About how that was kind of like the deal breaker for you, but I got to tell you something. That is the part of the game that keeps survival mode super interesting. Because for those who have played through Fallout 4, you know that the factions give you some special stuff that you're able to do. The Minutemen give you those grenades that you can call in the cavalry. The Brotherhood of Steel allow you to get a vertibird pickup, and the Institute allows you to essentially to teleport you to certain places. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to be stuck, like pinned down somewhere in Fallout 4 and be able to throw a vertibird signal grenade and be airlifted out to wherever the hell I want to go. It makes that feature of the game absolutely amazing and really makes me want to side with the Brotherhood, although I'm not sure exactly which faction I'm going to go with just yet, but it's not going to be Railroad. I can tell you that because I did that on my first playthrough. When I talked to you guys last time, I was level 8 or 10, and now I'm level 31. I've got a Magnum now in my arsenal. I've got some combat rifle. I found that trying to get through the game with low strength build was a really bad idea. It did not work out very well. You can tell I don't play a lot of shooters.
Yeah, your cursor's so low on the ground, your DPI so low.
Cursor's on the ground? Oh. Yeah, the video I've got up is from my first playthrough, actually. This isn't the survival mode playthrough. This is some Far Harbor stuff that I actually recorded when I was doing the last expansion for the game, which was a blast, by the way. One of the things that I started working on was after I got the Tier 3 Armorsmith, Blacksmith, or Armorsmith and Gunnery stuff upgrades, was to start working on actually building up my strength so I could carry more shit back to base with me so that I could actually upgrade stuff faster, build a little quicker, that kind of thing. So, early on, a lot of the guides said, "Oh, go strength build because that's really important for carrying stuff." And I was like, "Nah, it's not really what I wanted to do." No regrets though, because now I can carry lots of stuff in my backpack, and I've got 2 tiers in strong back perk, which gives me an additional 50 weight. The impact though of every level in survival mode is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I really can't speak, anything bad about it. It is frustrating when they send you on a really long quest to go do something across the map and come back, because you're doing this risk reward thing, and this is another thing with the fast travel and the not being able to quick save and save scum and all that stuff. You have to take calculated risks to go off your path to find sleeping bags and liberate small little townships or maybe little households that might have a bed in them, because they are going to be your lifeblood to not getting to where you're supposed to go across the map, dying, and then reloading all the way back wherever you were. So it's so important that you have that stuff. And also, I found that it was really important to be able to cook early on and to purify water, always have good water to drink, good clean food to eat, because that was making me have to run back to Diamond City to hit the doctor up quite a bit early on. So overall, like, the game has just become like I've accustomed myself to the challenge now. It feels more like that Dark Souls kind of game where like every enemy is really dangerous, and they do a lot more damage. And if they headshot you, you die. I mean, if you hit an explosion, you die. There's so many things trying to kill you in this mode. But this is the way I think that this game was really meant to be played, because of the faction features that it offers, really make you want to. They tug you in a way that, you know, you may be like, well, you know, there's this metagame feature that I really want to have as part of my playthrough, which will help me get around better or infiltrate places better, and I really find that, like, I want that, but also struggling between that and the story. Wanting to, you know, I'm not so big into the military lifestyle with the Brotherhood, but man, having that vertibird on call is like, that's pretty amazing, to be able to get myself across the map in a pinch. So yeah, I've had a whole lot of fun with it. At level 20, the game started throwing death claws at me, which was a whole nother problem that I had to start dealing with. As you walking across that map looking for little ledges and stuff to be able to scout around and scope and things like that was really important. So,
oh, you got the Automaton DLC, right?
I do have the Automaton DLC. Yes.
Oh, you just take a robot on the death claw and run away.
Well, you can do that. You absolutely can, except the death claws do a shitload of damage in survival mode. Keep in mind that damage calculation is far worse in survival mode. So death claws are harder to kill, and they will kill you much faster. I used to be able to survive being picked up by a death claw and stabbed in the face. Not in survival mode. The moment that the death claw gets to you and grabs you, you're dead. Unless you're in power armor, you're completely dead. So there's just a lot. Like earlier today, I was like, oh, I just gotta run across to the river here, go southeast, and be back in town. And I'm like, I'll just sprint it, right? Because fuck it. I came on the way here. I took a similar path. This wasn't the same exact path. And of course, by the time I get to the riverbank, I've got a death claw on me. So I'm like, well, shit, I'll run into the river. No, the Deathclaw came into the river just far enough to grab me, because once you hit the water, you start running slower, and grabbed me and killed me. And I was like, okay, that's why it's survival mode, because at no point in time can you let your guard down for anything at all. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I'm definitely going to finish the game in this mode. It takes hours to do even the smallest thing. Every quest you do, you have to get back to your base, wherever that is you decide, before you connect settlements with local leader, which is what I'm going to work on next, to gear up, make sure you got your water, your food, your bullets, everything, and head on out, because it's just all very important.
Your bullets, which cost weight.
Oh yeah, no, they're heavy. They're heavy. They're very heavy.
Yeah,
they add up.
All adds up.
You don't need to carry 500 Magnum rounds with you. You know, you just need maybe 150 to a 50.
No, do like the energy rounds, like the energy cells and stuff, cost like weight? Because like a fully charged energy cell should cost like the fully charged energy cell, but do you have to actually like pay like per shot for energy cell?
Everything has a weight. All the ammo has a weight. The fusion cells have a weight. Yeah, the ammo for the laser guns do have a weight. So they go out to 3 decimal places on some of the ammo. In fact, most of the ammo does. So like 0.015 weight or whatever. But you know, when you're trying to carry 200 to 300 of it for each weapon you have, and maybe you're doing 3 or 4 weapons, it adds up. So every mission you have to determine, you know, how many bullets am I going to go into this with? I know I'm going to get some of these. How rare is this particular ammo? You know, where am I going? Am I fighting synths? Well, maybe I don't need to bring as many energy cells because I'm going to pick some up, you know. I'm going to fight raiders. Maybe I don't need to bring as many 10 millimeter ammo with me or 45 caliber rounds, because probably they're going to drop some, you know, and shotgun shells too. You have to be tactful, smart about it. Manage your weight system, and then just be able to carry as much back with you as possible, because you know some of the stuff is pretty rare. Adhesive, for example, and you want to be able to bring as much glue and duct tape back as possible, you know, between you and your companion. And it's just you have to really think about every single quest you go on, because it's really important.
You need glue and duct tape for your companion?
For upgrades, for upgrading stuff, you need adhesive and
I was
stuff
thinking
to break down.
No.
There is an interesting bug though in the game that they have yet to fix. Even if your weight is capped out and your companion's weight is, it only matters when you're trying to trade them stuff directly. You can drop stuff on the ground and command them to pick it up, and it will go over the amount of weight that they can carry. That gets a little tedious, dropping everything and then being like, here, pick that up, here, pick that up, here, pick that up. So really just the convenience of being able to just take what you can in your pack and give your first load to your companion and then carry a whole nother load is just the way to go, really. But you can certainly cheese the game if you want to. Entirely up to you. You guys still want to play this version of the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it at some point.
You really should. It's really a blast. There is one more thing that I actually did play, and it's I got into the Elder Scrolls Legends beta. Did any of you guys get into that one?
If I did, I would not give a shit.
No. Okay. That's fine.
I want to play Gwent. I want to play Gwent though.
So I got into it, and I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna kind of use. You guys have played Hearthstone or tried Hearthstone?
Nope.
You haven't played. Okay, well, I would think most of the listeners probably have played Hearthstone or are aware of sort of what Hearthstone is, how it differentiates itself from some of the other actual card games like Moto and stuff like that. The video I put up is like the Bethesda 1 hour Elder Scrolls Legends Twitch or whatever. And I'll sort of run down the differences between this and Hearthstone because they are distinct games, and I think that's really what Bethesda wants to emphasize here. Is it's not the same old thing.
Is it different from any other winning card game now?
I couldn't tell you. I'm just going to compare it to Hearthstone because that's obviously like the most popular game, and people would probably be able to determine the differences off that and whether or not they think it's interesting. There are other card games out there. Feel free to mention them as I go through if you want to.
There's some Flash. I think it's called Elements. That was a winning card game.
Yeah. So this one has the lanes in it. There is something interesting about it that so every game that you play has a different rule to it. So one of the rules, the standard rules in the Elder Scrolls Legends card game is that the left lane is like a normal lane. Creatures abide by summoning sickness in both lanes is normal. You put a creature down, it stays there, you can see it, whatever. The right lane is considered the shadow lane. So everything you lay down in the right lane will have a shadow on it with like a little cloud that until you reveal that card by attacking with it, it will remain a shadow creature, so it cannot be attacked until you attack with it. And that counts for both sides. So it'll stay cloaked until you attack with it. Taunt.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic.
It's not like Magic, because in Magic, like unless something like I don't think there is anything like that in Magic. Because in these games you get to attack specifically either the player or a creature of your choosing, whereas in Magic the Gathering you choose blockers for attackers. This is much more directed. Taunt.
It's not like the face down stuff.
I mean, yeah,
Summoning sickness and all that.
Well, it's not summoning sickness just means you can't attack with it the turn that you put it out. A cloak lane means that it's down and it obeys summoning sickness, but nobody can attack that creature until you attack with it and remove its cloak. So it stays like it can't be the other. The other opponent may have played a creature already that was revealed in the right lane and they attack with it 2 turns ago or last turn. You can put one down and then even on their turn they still can't attack it because it hasn't been revealed. It's still cloaked. They can look at the card and see that it's on the table or whatever and what card it is, but it cannot be the target of anything, of spells, abilities, or creature attacks. So it adds some interesting stuff to the game in terms of how you pick which lane. It certainly differentiates like left lane, right lane strategy. It's kind of like trying to simulate 2 boards being played at the same time. I don't know at the level that I'm at, which is basically still the story mode stuff. I'm like maybe 2nd or 3rd chapter in, or act in. Like they've started to build on the mechanics, and some of the other stuff is like Taunt in Hearthstone is called Guard in this game, which means it's a creature you have to attack first in that lane before you can attack any other creatures or the player directly. When one of the new mechanics in this one is when your life total falls below a number divisible by 5, you draw a card on the other player's turn. You draw a card, and if that card has the word prophecy written on it, it can be cast for free right then and there. So let's say I'm at 26 life and Papa attacks me with a 2-power creature and I go below 25 down to 24, I draw a card automatically.
So what happens if you increase your life count and then you get bullet out again?
You don't get to draw a second card. So the way the game keeps track of that is for every fifth life divisible by 5, it has a rune around your character model, your hero badge or whatever, and it takes that rune away. It doesn't come back. I don't know if there's cards that allow you to regenerate runes or anything like that by going up, like if there's a heal card that says like gain 5 life, and if you would regain a rune, you regain it. I haven't seen that yet because I'm not that far into the game. But it is an interesting mechanic that the faster you defeat the opponent, the worse your card advantage becomes. For players who play like stuff like Magic, they understand what card advantage is, being able to draw out your deck without actually drawing it on your turn, so that you can limit the amount of cards in your deck to increase the chance of drawing the cards you might want. So it's interesting because it basically plays this seesaw game with you lose life really fast and you can draw multiple cards. You can even lose 2 runes at once. If you're like 26 life and you get hit for 10 and you go down to 16, you draw a card for go below 20, 25, and 20. So there's some interesting stuff there. One of the ways it differentiates itself between Hearthstone is you can upgrade cards permanently. For example, one of the cards in the story mode you get is a 4/4 base creature. And when you are able to upgrade it, you can either turn it into a 3/6 more defensive or a 6/3 more offensive. And the card that changes permanent with that card, but later on you can get copies of the base card to make different choices if that's what you want.
So I'm seeing in the video here there's practice versus battle story, soul arena versus arena. What's the difference between the arena and battle?
So I only have the story mode unlocked and the practice mode, and I think the solo arena unlocked. So I think practice is you get to check out new decks, and there are 6 different deck archetypes that you can build upon, and each of them has like a theme. Much like Magic with the colors, like green being high mana, blue being spell casting, red being direct damage, that kind of stuff. The solo arena I think allows you is like a draft format, but I haven't checked it out exactly yet.
Ooh, that's good.
And then, just like in Hearthstone where you can dust cards and recreate cards, they use the Elder Scrolls lore to wrap around a lot of that stuff. So every turn you get a Magicka, for example, instead of a mana. Cards can be destroyed for soul gems, and then you can soul summon new cards with a certain amount of soul gems if you want to create a card you don't have, or you want to destroy copies of cards that can't fit in your deck. Decks can be between 50 and 70 cards, which is more in line with Magic the Gathering. Hearthstone decks are 30 cards, and there's a max of 2 of any card and only 1 of a legend. In Elder Scrolls, it's max 3 of in a deck, and I haven't run across any like legendary stuff, but I'm sure that stuff exists.
So there's different classes, it says here?
Yeah, so there's different classes. I think here in the video they're only showing 3, but there are actually 6, I believe. And they mix and match each of the 2 ideas on here. Like you're seeing fighter and like willpower, and monk is like willpower and dexterity. And that basically is the type of cards you get to put in the deck. And then there are general spell cards that you can add to the deck as well. So there's like colored cards, and each deck can only have like 2 different colors in it. And then there are support cards that are like basically colorless that you can add into the deck. So there's a lot of stuff there that's very familiar to Hearthstone players, but also Magic the Gathering players. I think in general, I've seen a lot less RNG involved, so people who hated that about Hearthstone might appreciate this a bit more. And there's a lot of the same old mechanics are there, like charge is like haste, you get to attack with it in the same turn. Breakthrough is like trample from Magic, where if you have a 6/6 creature with breakthrough and attacks a 1/1. That 1/1 takes 1 damage and dies, and the extra 5 damage go directly to the player. So there's a lot of good throwback mechanics that are in there to make it very accessible. My biggest fear about it is like people are going to think that because it has the Elder Scrolls name on it that it is like an inaccessible game, and I would hate for it to have that that kind of judgment passed on it, because it's just a collectible card game in the theme of Elder Scrolls, and some stuff may seem weird if you don't know the races or the lore behind it, but the game in and of itself it's very self-contained, and it doesn't try to like poke at your knowledge of like the gods or the different races and stuff like that. So I found it pretty enjoyable. I think I sunk about 4 or 5 hours into it. There's still a lot more for me to look at. But so far, I'm enjoying it. And there's no NDA on the beta. They lifted it when they sent out the emails. That's why I'm able to talk about it.
Do you know how elaborate the story mode is?
Okay, so the story mode basically gives you like this 30-second video clip that sets up why you're playing the next match, and then you play the match, and sometimes like the player will have there'll be a specific rule put into the game, like both lanes are shadow lanes, not just the right lane, or enemy starts with two enemies already on the board, or your magicka is decreased by 1 in the third turn, like just a rule that they'll add in, and then when you clear that, it gives you another 30-second like FMV, and then that sets up the next match. So it's not really that elaborate. It just kind of has a very easygoing, free-flowing story through it that that's based on the angle of the deck you're playing. And I think the first deck is like Crusader. So you build around that, and then as you go through, you level up. You have an MMR rank, especially a matchmaking rank, and you get packs as you go through the story level, and you get to upgrade your cards at a certain level in the story mode. And then eventually they unlock actual deck building to show you how to deck build, and it shows you your mana curve and all the stuff you would want, like they're showing up here on the screen. They're actually showing, I think, the solo arena here, which is the draft style, and it's exactly like Hearthstone, where you get to pick 30 cards, and it shows you one of 3, and you choose, and you put it in your deck, and you do that 30 times to make 30 picks.
So is this a free-to-play game?
At the moment, as far as I can tell, it's free-to-play. I did not look to see if there was a shop or anything in it. I was really just focusing on trying to learn the mechanics of the game and see why it was different than what's out there, or what's similar to what's out there. It's enjoyable. I think the story's a little campy, but that's not what people are going to play it for. They're going to play it for competitive, and I think that it's on the right track to creating a competitive style game, for sure. So yeah, that's Elder Scrolls Legends. Check it out. Try to get into the beta. Sign up for the beta. It's fun, in my opinion. As an ex-card gamer, it's fun. Everyone's still alive out there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an hour of going through our personal stuff, but there hasn't been a shitload of news. But are you guys ready to talk about the news?
Let's talk about some news.
All right, cool. Let's talk about news.
There's one big article at least.
Yeah, there's at least one big article. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll just trudge through the rest of the crap here. So Eurogamer recently posted a pretty lengthy article on all the rumors of the NX, basically put into one post, essentially. And a lot of these rumors, you might say this is pretty cool. Other people might say this is pretty damning. So why don't we just briefly go through the features? So first and foremost, this is not confirming anything, but this is sort of all the information that we've heard about it and seen about it so far. That the NX is going to be primarily a portable handheld with a docking station, which I think is what we kind of thought, right, guys?
Yeah,
more or less.
Figure.
Longly agreed upon.
And the idea is that the tablet screen itself that it comes with, the little handheld, will have two controllers that can be removed from the side of the unit. No word on whether they then reattach to each other or anything like that, but they both have analog sticks on it. It kind of looks like a Wii U, if you can imagine a Wii U, where you're then pulling off the sides and leaving just the screen.
It's like Voltron.
It's the Voltron of gaming consoles. And then presumably the base station, the docking station, not only connects to your TV through HDMI, but also maybe charges the base unit. But I think the thing that raised concern in this article is confirmation in some way or another that this console is going to be a cartridge-based system. So let's talk about that for a minute, because
that's your big takeaway?
That to me is the biggest takeaway, yes, because when you're removing digital media from here, you're talking about music quality, you're talking about the inability to do videos, you're talking about a lot of things here, moving on to cartridge-based media. Is there something else that you think is a bigger concern out of this?
I think what they're using for the
I was gonna say the
GPU
processor.
is a pretty big concern.
Okay.
Let's do go over the cartridge. The way I read cartridge now, since we're on the topic.
Papa's in an aquarium.
Papa went far away for some reason.
Oh, what?
You sound like you're very far away right now.
How about now?
That's much better. Okay, so supposedly this thing is going to be using a Tegra processor, an NVIDIA Tegra, which is like a high-powered mobile processor.
Right.
They don't say if it's a Tegra 1 or 2.
Right, that's what I was to say. If it's a Tegra 1, that's bad. If it's a Tegra 2, oh, okay. I'm with him on that one.
Is this what was in the Shield? Or
the Shield used a Tegra 1.
Okay, Shield uses Tegra 1. Okay, so we're hoping that it's a Tegra 2 is what we're hoping for then. If it's going to be Tegra at all.
We're pretty sure it's going to be Tegra.
Yeah, they're breaking off from AMD guaranteed on this one. Now, even if it's Tegra 1, yes, it's pretty damning as far as what's currently available out there, but the other article is from Digital Foundry or whatever. The Eurogamer had a bunch of links in it. It takes a look at, say, what the X1 did, the Tegra X1, compared to like Xbox 360 and all that with like Doom BFG edition, and trying to 720p 60 frame on Xbox 360 Doom BFG, trying to 720p 30 on both Sony and Microsoft's latest gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, 1080p 30 frames on Tegra X1. And then they give the other example of Killzone Mercenary, how if they detach the X1 hardware and remove it from Android, basically remove it from the operating system it's paired to, and get that low level access, aka like Mantle and DX12 and all that low level API, you get some pretty good stuff, because it was basically they did that not with the X1, but with basically the iPad 3 GPU. And Killzone Mercenary, they said, has been a very impressive mobile shooter graphically. So it all depends, really. I mean, it could be damning, it could not be damning. And then Nintendo does have a pretty good history of making underpowered hardware do some amazing things. The Xenoblade Chronicles, for example, the E3 showing of Legend of Zelda.
But that stuff's like first-party stuff that they get to optimize on their system. I mean, Nintendo's in a place where they want to attract third-party developers to their console, and having an underpowered system as well as moving to cartridge-based media sounds like about the farthest thing from being able to actually convince anyone to develop for your console, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I see two big problems with this.
Sort of. I can't argue
Sort of.
I got no fight back for that.
Listen, I see two big problems with this NX here.
Okay.
So the first one is that the developers are now going to have to develop for both a handheld and a traditional television console.
Well,
for any game they make, they're going to have to develop for both. That's
it's possible
they have to do now.
The base station just up-reses this game. I mean, right?
It's possible, but I mean, you still have to develop you're still gonna have to develop controls differently if you're doing
that's
a good
fair.
job.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's gonna, along with Nintendo being typically not using regular PC hardware, it's going to be very difficult to code for these first party developers to port their games over. So they're not going to have. Or not first party, third party developers to port their games over. They're not going to have third party developer support. I think Nintendo's making the same mistake they did with the Wii and the Wii U. So that's the one big concern there. The other big concern is that they're just competing with themselves now. I mean, they already dominate the handheld market. Why do they need to make another handheld system?
Well, I have kind of a slight comeback to that, and it's this. I know a lot of people who have a 3DS, and lately it seems like there was this whole period in the past year, 2 years, where they were sort of putting a lot of the Wii U stuff on the handheld. Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, right? Papa, you know what I'm talking about? Star Fox. They were essentially more or less the same quality game. This being a handheld, but also an at-home console, kind of has the ability, maybe to unify Nintendo's libraries in a way, like the handheld stuff plus the stuff on the at home. I think that for Nintendo gamers specifically, of course, is a boon. But Papa, what do you think? Because I know this is your topic.
Well, I can basically wrap that up with one word. The counterpoint to what I was saying about the basically competing with themselves now. It's homogenization. You see it in major corporations all the time. Rather than split off and do two things, into mediocrity, combine them, combine the strengths from both, ditch the crappy parts of both, and basically vertical alignment and homogenization of their hardware department.
So do they not bother with third party anymore at this point? Is this the nail in the coffin for fuck it, we don't really care about that?
Yeah, that brings up my first point. If they're going to do that, then they're further alienating the third-party developers. I mean,
because I was
it's going
under
to be
the
harder and harder to develop for these systems.
I was under the impression that Nintendo was trying to get those people back in their camp, not push them farther away. And I think any game developer, publishing company reading this article, which was all over the internet this past week, is looking at this and saying, I don't know that Nintendo is where we want to be. I mean, we seem to be doing fine with the other two consoles and PC, unless you're Warner Brothers and you're like, what's PC?
I'm grabbing the 10-foot pole here with like the little handy, little hand thing at the end of it. I'm reaching here, but I'm going to pull this one out my ass because that's what I do. In regards to that, my counterpoint is the hardware is better. Yes, it's a quote-unquote less powerful and slightly outdated hardware if it's X1, or even if it's X2, but it's NVIDIA hardware. NVIDIA's traditionally done better at optimizing their own stuff than, say, AMD has, which is what all current generation consoles run off of, and have for many, many generations now, if I recall. I don't recall a console that hasn't run on an AMD, subprocessor or GPU since probably the GameCube days, and even then,
lately,
I'm
going to disagree too.
Reception to the Nintendo hardware has been lackluster. They have been failing quarter after quarter after quarter on hardware sales, and that is proven further down below.
Now, I'll only say that lately, the message coming from AMD has been about optimization through Vulkan. That has been the big thing that they've been pushing, showing how the RX 480, for example, can push better frame rates than the 1070 even in a lot of games out there. If game developers, again, choose to integrate these APIs into their game. You got to wonder if they went with AMD, if that would be possible, because NVIDIA doesn't exactly have anything exactly like that, other than during the DirectX 12.
But AMD is always, and has always been the case, is less power efficient. And with a handheld / portable type thing going with the NX, what's the biggest thing? What's the technology that is the bane of us all, from smartphones to
the battery, of course.
The battery, exactly.
Yeah. And I get your point. NVIDIA tends to be a little more
for the power.
I mean, NVIDIA has always been a bit more power hungry than AMD, and this generation is really no different in terms of the PC video cards. But I mean, let's move away from the tech and talk about the problem of Nintendo has with how are they going to? Is this system going to be a good idea for them to put out if what they're saying is true here, or even close to true? A cartridge-based system with a mobile processor inside of it. I'm not sure that this tugs at any developer or publisher's heartstrings to be like, oh, yes, nostalgia is going to make me want to come back to you, Nintendo, and create a game on your system with, again, possibly funky controls, an underpowered system, which, like you said, Nintendo doesn't have a problem putting out, and also a type of media that is not the norm at all nowadays. And we moved away from cartridge-based for a reason.
I think of cartridge as flashcard because that's basically what those things are going to be, oversized flashcards.
The nice thing about cartridges is they last a little longer than the...
Sure, they do. But when you're talking about a game like this, digital preservation is a bit more difficult because it has to be the ROM has to be taken off the cartridge and all that other base. It's much easier to do that with CD-based media, but we could go on for days about how people do that anyway. Last time we talked about a little bit about that.
I really don't understand Nintendo's strategy, to be honest. I just don't get it.
I don't think they have one.
They just
I'm sure they have one.
Whatever they want.
Wow, Weston, this shit.
But is that really the right thing for Nintendo to do at this point? I mean, I thought they were in hot water.
I want to see what the price of this thing is. If it's $200, I would pick it up, but I think it's going to be $300 or even $350.
I mean, my thought on it was that too, like $249 for the handheld, $99 for the base station. So together they're $349. But we'll see, I guess, because it's got to be priced competitively for its power at compared to the other competitors. And Nintendo's always releasing in these off years. You know?
They also don't tend to release with where they lose out on the console sales. They don't like to go on.
Don't do
they
holiday,
like to make profit off the consoles. That's what they like to do.
They sure do. They don't sell at a loss, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's going to be that. So I think it's going to be a bit more expensive than people are hoping for, and that's going to be a big problem. And I don't think this is going to sell very well.
I'm in the camp as well, but well, I guess we'll see. I mean, we're probably not going to see anything in TGS. I don't think Nintendo does TGS, but maybe by the holiday we'll actually see a prototype of this thing running something. Let's hope. I mean, they can do a Nintendo Direct whenever the hell they want. So
release a Zelda, release a Smash Bros., release a Metroid, release some freaking new Mario game. That's all they need to do, and they got.
That's only going to last so long. People are already getting tired of that shit. It's the same Nintendo games on a different system.
They can release those games on any platform and increase sales.
And make way more money. Yep. Put Smash Brothers on the PlayStation. It will have outsold PlayStation All-Stars' entire lifetime in about a week.
There won't be.
Don't do it, Nintendo. Don't do it.
If Nintendo release games on other consoles, nobody will not have heard of Nintendo. I mean, it would be the biggest thing in the world.
They could be the biggest software company known to man. Video game software
biggest company. Period. I would say. Just it would make so much money.
All right. Well, we still don't know what the fuck you're doing, Nintendo. But good luck with whatever it is that you are doing. I want to talk a little bit about Tim Sweeney, and I want to hear Core's opinion on this one because I don't know. Okay, so Tim Sweeney is the guy who sold he's the co-founder of Epic Games. He co-created the Unreal Engine. He doesn't like Microsoft. He's been criticizing the platform for a while, especially the Universal Windows platform, which we all did. We talked about how non-PC it was,
and Gabe Newell too.
Yeah, everyone talked about that. But Tim has this idea that over the course of the next few years, Windows 10 is going to be rolling out updates that are essentially going to destroy Steam as a platform.
He's basically been saying they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, and that they're going to continue to do it to the point where the Universal Windows platform is the only thing you're going to be able to buy games on that's going to be reasonable. Having gone through this article on PC Gamer, he seems a little conspiracy theorist to me. I because it's talk and there's no like sources and stuff like in here that's really showing things like that. I think he's nuts, personally, but I'd be curious to see the counter argument that you wrote in the comments about this.
No. I think his initial argument is valid. His latter argument, where like Microsoft will be rolling out rolling patches to make life difficult on Windows for Steam, I think that's complete bullshit. But he's got a valid point. We've got a protected environment now within Windows. It's a high security environment, and we're trying to get software developers to adapt to that. And it's regrettable that they have to fall into this proprietary Windows environment, the Universal Windows platform, to roll their games out, but they don't necessarily have to do so. Like, there's nothing stopping Steam from rolling out a Universal Windows platform with Steam. And then, validating games.
It's true,
push them out. Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to play ball here, they can play ball. There's nothing stopping them.
What is it that he doesn't like about Microsoft? Didn't they give him a boatload of money to own Gears of War, essentially?
I think he's upset with the way they're rolling this package out. Like, it's a package, basically. Like, you gotta say, like, okay, here's how you've been doing things. Here's how you're going to do it now. You have to fall into place by this time frame, or, well, sucks to be you.
Just seems like he's, in points, he's, like, reaching here for a lot of things. Like, Steam is essentially just a program that you install on your computer. How would they ever make? I don't get how they're going to make something so bad that Steam is going to run like shit or be choppy or that it's not going to be a viable platform for games. I mean, yeah, that seemed like an unethical kind of thing to do, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know that Microsoft is even convinced. If you
go back and look at Steam as itself, it's a browser wrapper, basically.
Nowadays, yeah, it's essentially that. They did that on the mobile phone too, which is
if
terrible.
they make that difficult for Steam, but if you look at Steam and you look at Valve as a corporation and the talent that's behind them, if you think Microsoft can do anything that would disrupt that marketplace, and you do not think that Valve would react to it, you're being silly.
Yes. Okay, so you agree he's being silly, but he has some valid points to what he's.
Yeah, he's got valid points, but I think anything that his points bring up is something that the market could react to pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean it's PC. You can do anything you want on it essentially. I don't see how they're going to keep Valve out of the gaming space here at all. But speaking of Valve,
here's the deal: Valve was there first. They did it first. They brought all of these fucking publishers and independent developers on board, and they sold everybody on an idea and said, "Hey, look here, bring your games here, and if we ever fail, you'll get your games DMC free. You'll get your games." Do you think they're going to stop that because of Microsoft?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I highly doubt it. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. You guys cool with that?
Push it.
All right. So we'll stay on track with Valve, but we're gonna change lanes here. So when we were on the podcast last, we talked about the CS:GO gambling scandals that were going on. How it was like a $7.4 billion industry. How it was pretty incredible that all this stuff was going on. Called out a few YouTube gamers that were already being called out on Twitter and YouTube and other places.
Well, not just that, but actual Twitch streamers who are getting banned by Twitch.
Yes, and then it was Twitch streamers getting banned by Twitch. Twitch passed a rule that you couldn't show that gambling stuff on their service anymore. Well, Valve decided they were going to respond, and I'm going to throw up here on the stream the actual letter that Steam responded with. And essentially, it requests that the following websites immediately cease and desist all activities related to gambling skins by circumventing the API in Steam and all that stuff. So this is an interesting response by Valve. I think it's an appropriate one and needed to essentially to happen.
I don't.
You don't what? Which part do you disagree with?
I disagree with Twitch banning people from showing this gambling sites and everything. I'm very anti-censorship, and I feel this is like a form of censorship right here.
It's not the government, so it's not censorship.
We can't have gambling sites. Well, it doesn't have to be the government to be censorship. Anybody can censor something.
No, continue.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear.
I don't like this. I mean, it's essentially saying, hey, you have an open service like I've said this before. You have an open service like Steam. It should be pretty much like we were just saying with Nintendo, Wild West. That's how it should be. I mean,
yeah, but there's too many
be controlling what can be on their platform and what can't be. I just feel like that's gives them too much power.
Well, I think the word we threw around a lot last time was culpability. Because Twitch essentially becomes free advertising for that kind of stuff when you have it on there. And it's also, by Valve's policy, is illegal to actually do. And therefore, Twitch isn't actually responding to anything directly. They're making an indirect saying, listen, you can't do this because actually it's not even allowed by the people who host the game that you're gambling about. I can understand where you're coming from, and yet I don't think Twitch is completely in the wrong here for protecting themselves.
So the major argument here becomes ex post facto, which basically means after the fact or with retroactive effect or force. If these guys were operating under what they presumed were allowable under the terms and conditions and the EULAs that they were working within. And so now you're seeing Twitch and Valve immediately modify their EULAs and their terms of services to exclude these services. So they're basically saying, oh, we don't want you to do this anymore. Just stop it. Stop it right now. Stop using our services to do what you're doing. But what we have here are multi-million-dollar / billion-dollar industries operating under these previous terms. And if you think they're going to give them up lightly and just step away and be like, all right, fine, Valve says you can't do this anymore. No, bullshit. You're getting ready for a huge legal battle here.
And so I'll admit, I looked because are URLs directly put into this letter. It directly addresses these 18 to 20 or so sites in here. Pick a few of them and go to them, and you will see banners on these sites right now that say, "Hey guys, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Don't pull your money out. We're okay. We're gonna make this work somehow." So those sites right now, because it's a huge industry, are looking for loopholes in order to not basically go into bankruptcy tomorrow.
And that's what I've been saying. This is a huge industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And if you think they're going to back down without a fight, you got something coming.
This is a pretense of things to come.
Valve is a large corporation. We know Valve makes a ton of money, but can Valve's retainer lawyers fight against the combined force of these sites? Because these guys are right now, they're fucking lawyering up and they're ready to go to town.
They seem to be that way.
I'm not defending these CSGO's gambling sites.
I'm not either. I'm just saying Valve is saying no. These guys are saying yes. And so now we're seeing everybody else lawyering up. This is going to be something epic.
Yep. And we're seeing it unfold right here.
That's
why it's worth following.
There is way too much money on the table for either team to back down.
But I mean, does Valve really have a case here? I mean, yes, they're using the Steam API to put links on it, but there's not really. Is there really anything wrong with that?
They've got a EULA in a term of service, and we've seldom seen before. EULAs in terms of service in a court of law seldom fail.
Well, that's true, but is there something in their EULA that says you can't link to certain sites on there? Does it say anything about gambling sites in particular? I mean, are they really violating Valve's policy here? Is what I'm getting at.
Valve is saying that they are violating their policy, and Valve is also losing money, essentially.
No, they have not. They are using Valve's API as Valve offers the API as a free service.
They're also, like we talked last time, circumventing Valve's ability to actually make any kind of money on their own software. Which would be CSGO. So they're going to have an argument here.
But that's also like saying, because I'm selling, fruit on the street, I am circumventing Walmart's ability to make money. I mean, it's just a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, if you're the guy who sells the bootleg movies on the corner of the street, you are actually doing something wrong. Yes.
Well, bootleg, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to tell people, there is so much money on the table here. We're not talking, home buying money. We're talking about like United States aircraft carrier buying money. Like an aircraft carrier costs like $10 billion. These guys are dealing $10 billion a year. This is how much money is on the table here. And if you think these gambling sites are going to back down against a EULA, you're fucking out of your mind.
Yeah, they're not. But the ones that are too small to perhaps absorb whatever might potentially happen, they might band together, or they might say, "Fuck it, we're out of cinch. We made our money. Let's go retire on an island somewhere."
Could be. But the big ones, they're gonna band up.
The big ones are gonna be together.
Up, and this is something we're gonna be dealing with for like 2 or 3 years.
And Night Striker brings up a good point in the chat too. This is gambling, and the legal age for gambling is 21 in most states, I would think. Maybe it's 18 in Vegas. And that's essentially what this is doing. And if Valve can prove that they're doing that, and they've done it with people that are under that age, based on a state-to-state basis, they might be able to actually recoup some, be able to have some damage money from all this, paid out to whoever the fuck gets it. But gambling on the internet is a very, very policed thing right now.
Gambling statutes alter from state to state.
Yes. Like you can't do it in New York, but you can do it in Jersey.
It's different from Nevada. Like gambling in California, very different from gambling in California.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you get these cross-nation or cross-country groups. Especially, how do you fucking deal with a group that's based in like Germany or Korea or Japan, and they're running these sites? So now you're trying to enforce gambling laws from the United States to a Japan company?
Well, this is a
that's difficult.
At least with the main one that they found out is the CSGO gambling. But
now, what's going to happen here?
They circumvent gambling.
No, we're going to get the IRS involved, and the IRS is going to come in here, and they're going to see like, all right, here's what's really going on.
But because they're exchanging digital items that have no real worth, even though they're using real money to use the site's features, they could kind of circumvent the gambling laws here. So I mean, it's a very very touchy subject here. I mean, our gambling laws are all screwed up.
Yeah, and we mentioned that last time too. With gambling laws being as archaic as they are, there's no precedent or concrete idea
look into
here.
Bitcoin gambling.
Let's not even
which is completely
mention
legal
that right now. So
completely legal.
that is a whole another.
Yeah, because the U.S. government does not recognize Bitcoin as a
currency. Yes.
So what do? Are we going to recognize a fucking CS:GO camouflage skin as a valid form of currency?
There's something about the digital age where we have to start considering presumed value of things, rather than an inherent value, objective value of things. There is a huge subjective value placed on many things. That's how free-to-play games make their money, folks, because they try to lure you into believing that these things have an objective value when really all they have is a subjective value. They might say, hey, you can buy X of this for X amount of coins that you pay for $9.99, but the reality is the value that it has to you might be worth much more than it has to the next guy. And so a lot of things have subjective worth. Bitcoin has an objective worth because there are literally places where you can buy real goods for X amount of Bitcoins because that site has an exchange rate for those kinds of things. With gambling sites, getting a skin that's 0.01 rarity to get and saying objectively that's worth 300 real life dollars is a little harder to do. But people have been doing that on the internet with rare accounts, MMO accounts, skins, mounts, all manner of business across all types of genre of games where things do have somewhat of a value, essentially. And that needs to be recognized in whenever they redo gambling laws, that things have an assumed value, an inherent value, a subjective value, whatever wording they want to use. Because that's what's going to help Valve actually make their case here. And it's right now, because that wording is not there, it's going to help the other guys sort of get away with a lot of this shit.
Oh, they're going to get away with it. There's no precedence here, honestly.
I think this was just Valve reacting to people complaining that this was allowed. Even though Valve really
this is all on Valve. Like, if anybody is trying
it's not.
Yes, this is all on Valve.
I don't know.
I don't think it's.
They provided the tool. I mean, that's like saying the guy who stabbed somebody with a knife. You should blame the knife maker for it.
Yeah, it's like the gun maker.
It's a tool.
No, it doesn't work like that at all.
I don't know. It's a difficult argument to have. You can see merit on both sides because again, there is no precedent here. What they do with the API is, Valve could completely shut down the API if they really wanted to, or rework it in some way. The reality is they can ban accounts all day long.
Completely reactionary. Valve is saying, all right, we built this ecosystem to service us.
To work for us, yes.
Valve wanted the skin trading, the item trading. They wanted to service them because they take a clipping off of every trade. What they didn't want was this outside trading. And so now we see this outside trading facilitated by other sites. And now Valve is saying, oh shit, this isn't good because we're not getting any money off of this.
And what happens if, say, Valve wins in this case? What about these games that, just like the CSGO pretty much allows it in their game, or like these games where you're playing a free-to-play game and you're bidding on gacha items, or what they're called in Japan, I guess. These gacha items that have a chance of giving you certain things. You're spending real money on them, and you're basically gambling.
This economic environment persists outside of Valve games. It persists into other, digital distributed games. Like, this is not something localized to Valve. This could happen in any other gaming environment.
Sure, it could. Valve created the API for this. I think they get a little say in how it should be used, but people are going to abuse it. When there's a potential for abuse, things will be abused. I mean, that's human nature.
No, they do. And they're saying, here's our API. This is our term of services. If you violate them, we will come over there and send our lawyers at you. But here's what I'm saying.
This is the lowest level that Valve could have possibly done right now.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
Base level stuff.
There is a tremendous amount of money on the table here. We cannot disagree on that.
No, we will not.
So now Valve has to go after these guys who are moving a tremendous amount of money and fight them. And I think, for the most part, most of them are going to capitulate, toss in their losses, and say, all right, that was a good run. We're going to have a go. But the major players, they're not going to capitulate. They are going to lawyer up, and they're going to fight this.
Okay, I mean, we're gonna watch it from the sidelines here. It will be an epic battle of some kind. It's interesting to see who wins. Maybe the case that in some jurisdiction, a court rules in favor of Valve, and then another jurisdiction they rule in favor of the gambling site, depending on the state law. It's going to be a mess. It's not going to be a clear-cut thing across the board because cases are going to happen in order. Maybe precedent will be pulled from those cases or whatever. It's going to depend on really how the first one goes, and that will determine who essentially is right or wrong, or in the right or in the wrong.
Better grab some popcorn.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've lingered very long on this, especially for a topic where none of us actually gamble on these sites, so we don't really have any vested interest in this, do we, guys?
Not much.
But it is interesting to see when video games becomes part of real life in some way.
Yeah, this is a story we're gonna be following for
absolutely, it's gonna be around forever. Okay, so who wants to talk about the best, greatest upcoming Netflix series that you never asked for? So, Square Enix and Don't Nod, the makers of Life is Strange, are partnering up with legendary digital studios to adapt their time-traveling team drama into a live-action television series.
Oh my god!
So,
why?
AI, didn't you like this game a lot?
I like this game. I mean, Naughty's like this game.
No. I think everybody here who played Life is Strange absolutely adored the game.
Yeah, but the game's about choices, and when I'm watching a video, I'm not making choices.
Right.
I'm watching a video.
Maybe
so, the dialogue was okay at best. It's a good game. I really like that how impactful the choices were in a game. It's more so than a Telltale game. But yeah, I just don't see this working out well for them. I mean, it's not a good.
That's fair.
This is a hard sell because when you look back at the Life is Strange game, it is a game about choices, player choices, and consequences. Your choices and the consequences that they entail. So when you adapt that to a live action series, you lock yourself into a singular choice and a singular consequence. Like, they are basically dictating this is how the Life is Strange story would go without you. This is how the main story should go.
Maybe they'll make a pilot, and then based on how you think that it ends, they'll create 2 episode 2s, and then you get to choose which one you get to watch.
I would love to see that, but I think you're being way too visionary in that aspect.
I think
here's what's going to happen.
The rewind time,
it should just be a video game, is what we're saying.
They'll try to go through multiple arcs on the story.
Right.
I
agree with May. I think they're going to take your character Max is going to make the worst decisions, and then she will rewind time and go back and make the best decision. That's my belief here.
Okay.
So I don't know. What we're seeing here is a series of games that were based upon player choice, and the player choice and the consequence. But now we're seeing it distilled into this is the true wavelength of the story. This is how the story should have gone.
Okay. You know what? I may watch the first episode. I may eventually play the game. I don't know. It doesn't.
You haven't played the game?
Much. I have not played the game. No. In fact, I've kind of dropped out of the whole Telltale thing. I haven't even finished Minecraft Story Mode or Game of Thrones yet, despite me really wanting to.
All right.
It's because
that Fallout, man.
Worst Telltale games.
Because that Fallout, man. It's just
play Tales from Borderlands, man. Tales from Borderlands was a good Telltale.
I didn't play the Borderlands games. I don't know.
You don't need to.
Anyway,
you'll still enjoy it. Trust me.
Let's go back to talking about Nintendo for a sec. Cor, why don't you take us through this one? I guess it kind of relates to what we were talking about last time about Pokemon Go here. And then maybe we'll never talk about Pokemon Go again. We'll see.
Could be.
Please.
Where are we at here? Oh, yeah. All right. So, even with the substantial stake in the Pokemon Company and Niantic, Nintendo's quarterly financials continue to worsen. And worsen would be an understatement. The net sales are down 31% with operating losses of $48 million.
Oh, it's a drop in the bucket for Nintendo. Makes such good decisions about stuff.
Right. But that tells us a whole lot. They are not selling consoles. They are not selling games.
No, they certainly not. And I'm not sure. I mean, investors are clearly stupid. Anyone who launched that app, and I'll launch it now because I haven't actually looked at Pokemon Go in probably 2 or 3 days. But when you launch the game, the splash screen says Niantic and the Pokemon Company. Okay, it doesn't say Nintendo until you actually get to the loading screen. I believe. No, actually, it doesn't even say that anymore at the bottom.
No, it shouldn't.
It used to say Nintendo and Company or whatever under there, but they changed the loading screen with the last patch, I think. And there's now pop-ups all over the damn game to tell you to be aware of your surroundings and stuff. The big things that were popping up in the news. But apparently, investors, when they threw all this money at Nintendo, they were under the impression that Nintendo had like this huge decision-making process going on in this game, and whatever. And then they all realized, oh wait, no, Nintendo actually doesn't have anything to do with this game.
So Nintendo has been, of course, a very popular publisher and producer of Pokemon games for 3DS and all the handhelds. However, they had pretty much nothing to fucking do with Pokemon Go.
Pretty much nothing.
But everybody expected that Pokemon Go was such a huge success, Nintendo was behind it. And so the Nintendo stock just fucking absolutely soared.
And now it's plummeting.
Is Wall Street
because
really bad, and the stock market is a sham.
Yeah, Wall Street's stupid. Wall Street's stupid. They realized Nintendo is actually only a 1/3 majority of the Pokemon Company, which is behind Pokemon Go, and their stock crashed. And even more so with the Nintendo quarterly reportings. And the Nintendo quarterly reportings, Nintendo drew a loss. They did not make a profit this last quarter. And why did they not make a profit? And everyone asked, well, what happened to Pokemon? And they said, well, we calculated the Pokemon Go profits into our quarterly profit. So what you're looking at here basically is Nintendo drawing a $48 million loss with the Pokemon Go profits already calculated in. They've already calculated in.
No, you're a little bit wrong about that one.
No, I'm not.
What they said was that it wasn't going to move the needle for them.
Yeah, they said on the future quarterly report, the Pokemon Go sales are probably not going to have much of an effect on it. They're kind of waiting to see on that, seeing if maybe it stays as popular as it is, which it won't. I'll tell you now, it's a fad.
It won't.
It's a fad, and I said it was a fad when it came out.
I concur with that, but I will amend to that Nintendo had already calculated Pokemon Go profits into this quarterly report.
They did make a projection. And what they said to investors and caused them to essentially pull out was that everyone was in an assumption that, so Pokemon Go is going to make the stock actually go up. And they said, no, we already put that into our report. It's not going to move the needle any more than it already does because we already accounted for it. And then everyone was like, oh, well, we're going to sell Nintendo stock now. And how much did that go for? Was you put $6 billion in market value here?
Right,
that's
so
crazy for it to happen
the
overnight.
Expected Pokemon income was already calculated into the quarterly reports, and so when the quarterly reports hit, it was like a fucking landslide. The Nintendo stock dropped like a rock. $6 billion.
Good old Nintendo.
Gone.
Good old Nintendo. I guess they shouldn't have just said anything. They just shouldn't have said anything. Just put the report out and just leave it be. I don't know. They have to. Yeah. Pokemon Go, there it is, folks. It did get a nice update the other day.
We talked about it extensively last podcast. We said, look, okay, this is not a Nintendo product. We said this is a fucking Pokemon Company, Niantic product. It will succeed or fail based on that. If you're in Nintendo for Pokemon, you are stupid.
All right. Yes, this is true. If you weren't in with Nintendo before, you clearly didn't really have faith in their product. So why buy now?
And the market has normalized and demonstrated that if you were in Nintendo before, you should not have bought more.
That isn't to say that we've seen the end of Pokemon Go just because we may not talk about it. I mean, they still have a lot of stuff coming up about it.
We see Nintendo right now diversifying and moving into the mobile marketplace. And if you think that they're just going to sit there and be stupid, you're wrong.
Yeah,
they are much moving to a mobile marketplace. Look for Metroid Go, Zelda Go, and so forth. It's happening. This is the way Nintendo's
there'll be
going.
something else, but yeah.
Nope. This is the way Nintendo's going. I guarantee it.
All right. Well, we'll see what the future holds for Nintendo and the quote-unquote Go franchises.
Over the last 20 podcasts, who was the one saying, watch the Pokemon game?
Listen, I'll disbelieve you. Saying I don't know that they can iterate on that theme with their other titles as much. Pokemon is a natural fit for this. Zelda, no. Mario, no. Pokemon fits.
No, I think they'll make big money off every title they release on mobile.
Dude, Pokemon Go still has a lot of legs in it.
But again, I wonder, like, are they changing
Nintendo
their
crashing. Buy Nintendo now, because Nintendo has finally fucking realized that they need to diversify their portfolio.
No, don't buy Nintendo anything. We're not making any stock predictions. Don't do anything with. If you have Nintendo stock, just keep it.
I am core contingency. I am saying buy Nintendo, because Nintendo is pushing out to the mobile market. They're gonna do like Zelda Go. They're gonna do Metroid Go. And these games are going to make a tremendous amount of money. Buy Nintendo.
I totally agree. Buy Nintendo.
And then when the NX come out, what's going to happen?
You can wait for the NX to come out and wait for that to tank.
NX is insignificant.
No, wait for the NX to come out. Wait for it at the tank. Wait for them to lose lots of money off
that.
It
will tank.
It will tank.
It will be successful.
Listen, they already made more money with Pokemon Go than they're going to make with the NX, man. I'm telling you right now.
Let me finish my sentence here. And wait for that, and then as soon as that NX starts tanking, buy the shit out of Nintendo stock, because they will eventually have to go to PlayStation and Microsoft, and they will make billions.
I agree wholeheartedly, and so does the financial analysts at Shack News. They say, like, Nintendo's crashing, their hardware is crashing. Buy Nintendo when it gets low, because they're going to have to diversify their portfolio, and they're going to have to market out their IPs, the Mario, the Zeldas, the fucking Metroids, to other developers, and those developers are going to make good games, and they're going to succeed.
I think Nintendo will fall on their sword before they get in bed with Sony. But
they're gonna be like the antithesis Sega. Like, Sega tried to do the same thing.
Let's not even go there.
But Sega fucking failed. But Nintendo is gonna actually succeed.
All right. I'm cutting out a bunch of this other crap, but I do want AI to talk about his this new development that.
I didn't put that article on there.
Oh, you didn't? But this is all for you.
I did put it on there, and you linked it in Google Hangouts, so I put it on there.
Yes, I did.
It's all for me. Okay,
whatever. It's all for you.
Whatever.
In fact, we're showing big-titted cat girls on the stream right now in honor of you.
I don't even know if that game is on there.
They're pretty low resolution.
Whatever.
Oh, those breasts are not low resolution. They're very nice. Well, but they're very nice at any resolution, to be honest.
Okay, so apparently New Taku is some big publisher of eroge, which are hentai games, basically.
As we talked about last time, I was educated in this. I know it had a name, but now it does.
And apparently there's some Steam-like client, and they are now grouped together. So this big publisher of eroge, and this Steam-like client that will have achievements and friends lists and currency gifting and all these other features you expect from a Steam-like client, digital distribution client. So I think this is kind of a big deal for the adult game industry.
That's right. So you can get all your pervy Japanese games uncensored in one place now.
And you can compare your achievements, like if you did stuff with the girls and stuff. Yeah, so
yeah, it's all there now. So that's our PSA.
Now people can know how much of a perv you are.
Yep, there you go. All right. So let's move on to announcements and debuts. The very first being that apparently Dead Rising, the new Dead Rising, I believe is going to be coming to PC, but all of the previous games are also coming to PC and PS4 as remastered titles. So that's a thing. If you're into the Dead Rising series, you're going to be able to pick it all up on PC now. Isn't that exciting, guys?
Hooray!
I mean, I don't think I was never into Dead Rising. I don't know how many people are, but I guess it's a popular series, right?
It'll come with amazing features like input remapping.
Yes, it will have amazing features like input remapping.
You
Okay.
could probably watch it and it probably has a 1080p resolution.
Probably does.
Probably, yeah.
At the very least, I would hope it has 1080p resolution. Sega, I guess in response to the NES Classic thing, is going to be releasing a new Mega Drive console and a handheld as well. It's going to have 80 games on it. There's articles all over the damn place, but basically, let's see. It's going to have the Golden Axe stuff, Phantasy Star 2 and 3 on it. Basically, all the Sonic games. Stuff that you would think is going to be on this. The Mega Drive is going to be there.
Phantasy Star is on there. Okay.
Phantasy Star 2 and 3 are both on there. Actually. Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 1 and 2, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. A lot of puzzle games as well, because there was so many that came out in that era. They're all going to be on there, including Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Yeah, the huge question is, will it have the original Sega Genesis snail game?
I don't know, but what I can tell you is that it will have an SD card to expand the collection. This is for the handheld. You're going to be able to play. There's a handheld and an at-home console. The at-home console is also going to have the ability to play the original Sega Genesis cartridges on it too, which is neat. And it's going to have 2 wireless controllers, which the 6-button controllers or whatever. So there's that. I think it's going to be $50 for the at-home console. I don't know how much the handheld's going to be.
So I saw a list of completely different games earlier.
Did you?
Now I'm looking at this list, and these
They're
are
different.
These are better games. Yes, these
Yeah.
are better list of games than I saw before.
Well, now you can be pleasantly surprised.
Although there's a lot of crap on there too, just to make that 80 number.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's an okay thing, I guess.
Seems like everybody's trying to one-up Nintendo. That's because they're the best.
We didn't talk about that crazy Sega dance party that they threw this past week.
I could just say, just watch the supercut from
There was a dance party
from Jim Sterling. It is the worst. It was the worst live stream. Yes, but with more buzzing. So
yeah, it was pretty bad. I basically watched it briefly, and it was already terrible. But yeah, anyway, they did that for the 20th anniversary of Sonic, and there is going to be a 25th anniversary Sonic game as well. I know.
Yay.
If you need to change your pants, we'll wait. You can go and change your pants, come back. We'll still be here. So yeah, and it's actually kind of a mashup game of the original Sonic stuff, some of the levels created by some Sonic pros or whatever, and then it's going to have a bunch of new levels as well created by the Sonic team or whoever the hell does that. So yeah, and that's actually going to be in the old Sonic look or whatever, the old 2D 16-bit look, which I know is Naughty's absolute favorite, that they keep putting out 16-bit retro games.
Bah.
So here's another one.
Can we just put Sonic
It's
down?
legitimate though.
We take them out in old Yeller style.
Isn't there's some discrepancy between old Sonic and new Sonic, but we won't get into that. The way he's drawn or something like that. Okay, and that System Shock remake that we talked about last time, that was going for PC. I think it was Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, they are funded.
Yeah, they're funded. So that actually is also going to be coming to PS4. So yeah, there you go. I will let AI take the next 4. There are quite a few of these, actually.
ROTTR. Is that the name of the game?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, okay. It's fucking acronyms.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know all these acronyms. Okay. Rise of the Tomb Raider is releasing on October 11th on PS4, and it will have PSVR support. I believe there's one special mission in the game you can do if you have PSVR.
Yeah, and it also should be noted, I could be completely wrong on this, but this is what I heard from somewhere, that because of the yearly release, this game's not going to have a season pass for PlayStation. It's just going to come with all the season pass content for the $60 price point. As far as I know. Because the game has been down as low as like $20, I think. On Xbox and on PC, it's been down to like maybe $20, $30. And the expansion content, is like $14, $15 a piece. So I think you're going to get all the content with this. It's going to be like a definitive type edition. And the PS4 version is also going to have a digital copy of the first Tomb Raider game with it as well. So you get 2 games for the price of 1. Isn't that awesome? Not excited? Come on, guys. They were both really good games. I mean, they were both really good games. So for the price, sounds pretty good.
Maybe I'll pick it up eventually. Probably not.
If you like Uncharted, you'll love this. It's really no different.
It's a game I am excited for. Batman Telltale.
Oh yeah,
it's got a release trailer.
Finally.
So we get to see this not new engine, but kind of upgrade engine.
Yeah, mostly new engine.
It looks new.
Mostly new engine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this one too.
Oh, they also announced they're doing they're having multiplayer in all their games now, which is kind of weird, but they're doing this stream thing.
Yeah, but the stream thing doesn't work with actually streaming because of the latency.
Oh yeah.
It might.
They flat out said it. Like you cannot stream and have this multi-user environment work.
Well, I think what the idea is, all the people who are doing this have the game, so they go into some multiplayer mode or whatever, and then you could vote the choices you make in the game with like your favorite player or something. I don't know, something like that. You kind of multiplay the game, and wherever majority rules, that's what the choice that happens.
Sounds
and they're
weird.
going to have this on every one of their games from now on.
It sounds really strange, but I'll judge it when it happens, I guess. I don't know.
It could be a neat idea. I mean,
could be neat. Are they trying to do like a Twitch plays thing for this?
It just kind of feels like they're pigeonholing multiplayer into the game, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's Telltale, so yeah, it'll be broken.
And it's
but
Batman.
This new engine does look great. I mean, it looks better than Wolf Among Us, which is also a very good looking game, but mostly not because of the engine, but because of the art style. And that has this art style, but it looks a lot better in the engine.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's very gritty compared to like some of the clean pastel stuff you saw in Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. It's definitely a different art direction that they take with this game. It's so weird how in the same engine they have like all these different artists that really have utilized it to make the games feel like the comic that they're written about. Good. Telltale does a good job with that.
And if anyone's really excited for Pac-Man, there's a new Pac-Man coming out called Pac-Man Championship Edition too. So I haven't seen the trailer of this one.
And I mean,
get up on stream.
You should. I will put it up on the stream now. This looks better than it deserves to. I'm not saying I like Pac-Man, but I will say I'm impressed by this. I don't know. It just looks like Pac-Man made new in some way, like new life to this game, and the different maps and the different stuff and the strategies. Like, it's interesting that it's just kind of the same old Pac-Man, but it has all this new stuff to it. Like, I think I might actually pick this up if it's like $5. So it looks.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff going on here. I thought this would be more like the 3D Pac-Man they were doing for a while.
Yeah, no, this is like classic Pac-Man.
Yeah, it's this, and he gets like warping around the map and doing all sorts of weird stuff. So yeah, this looks pretty interesting.
Tickle something inside me.
And then Lego Dimensions is getting 6 new expansion packs. I know that they're also adding in appreciation of the 25 years of Sonic, they're adding Sonic to Lego's Dimension as well.
They sure are. So the 2 of these expansion packs are Harry Potter themed, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Then there's a Sonic the Hedgehog one, a Gremlins one, an E.T. one, which is the extraterrestrial based on the movie, and then Adventure Time, which any adult would be familiar with, I would imagine, if you watch Cartoon Network. So that's there. Those are all the expansions coming for it. They're
adults watching Cartoon Network.
Reaching out pretty far on these kinds of things, which is good. All right.
There's 4 of them. I did 4.
You did 4. So how about Cord do the rest? Or Cord do 4 and then Papa will do...
I'm going to do one after.
Okay.
You do the next one, Cord.
Drop my phone. God damn it.
Oh,
chaos in here. Yeah. Don't nod one here. What is it? Don't nod? Yeah. Get this up on the stream here.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
All right, so this is Don't Nod. They have brought on a new studio. They call them Don't Nod 11.
Don't Nod 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like
Don't
on
Nod
floor
11 is
11.
doing a fucking. How do I even describe this? They are doing a side-scrolling adventure slash Final Fantasy. It's crazy, dude. They're doing side-scrolling platformer, hero, shooter, fighter, thingy. Like, watch the video. Like, how?
I'm watching it. I'm watching it. It looks kind of like Strider, the new Strider game. It kind of reminds me of that.
So
a little
I
bit.
didn't see any gameplay yet.
They're doing a hero shooter
It's
on
coming.
a side-scrolling platform.
How does that work?
They make it work.
Okay.
I mean, I played games like this before, and they're actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling hero shooter, basically.
I know that
I
one
think
game
that's how we
from
would describe it.
what was it called? I think it was called Cobalt. The game came out recently. It's Xbox One exclusive.
The camera's going to
That's
zoom in
like
and
it.
out constantly on this thing in a very annoying fashion.
I don't think it does. But it's definitely a side-scrolling, it's like Worms, like real time.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, AI, you wanted to do the next one?
Oh my god, this trailer is amazing.
Oh, I didn't actually watch this trailer yet.
I watched one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Lost Soul Aside. It was developed in Korea. I think it's developed by one guy.
One
which
guy,
I
yes.
don't even understand how is this possible. But he was inspired by Final Fantasy 15. He was probably inspired by Devil May Cry because it looks like it has a lot of that. It takes a lot of that gameplay. This game just looks. This is like what I want. This is what I would dream about playing.
What platform is this going to come on?
I don't know. I'm assuming
Do you
PC.
even have a publisher? Oh, so this will be like shoved through Greenlight or
I
something?
don't know what they're going for here, but the voice acting is terrible. But obviously, it's Korea. One guy. He's not working with a large budget, but the gameplay just absolutely amazing. You'll probably see it in a trailer if we get far enough. But he literally knocks a guy in the air and draws a fucking pentagram in the air with his blade, and then puts the pentagram down and blows up the pentagram. It's you have to watch this trailer. I mean,
Okay, it's called
can you
Lost
skip further in
Soul
the trailer?
Aside.
'Cause,
Sure.
they just show landscape shots in the beginning.
With some
Which looks
combat
great.
that you're going to see in about 5 seconds. There'll be some combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the pop-ups and stuff like that. It looks pretty interesting. So
I mean, this is
combo-based fighting.
Yeah, it's like Devil May Cry. It's just a spectacle fighter, I guess. But it's probably going to have more RPG elements. It has that open world, I guess, elements to it. It looks really great, and I can't believe this is made by either one guy or a small team or, with a low budget. It just looks great.
We'll watch this one for sure. This game, yeah, does look really good. I only watched the first minute of the trailer before, but yeah, now I'm seeing more of it. It's pretty impressive. All right. Okay, so we forgot to mention this one before. I just will. So along with the announcements of the 25th anniversary Sonic game, they also announced Sonic Project 2017, which is a Sonic game. And I think that's going to follow more of the generation style 3D Sonic-based games with like the original crew and stuff. So yeah.
Sonic has an edgy story.
Fucking
He's dark,
Sonic game.
post-apocalyptic.
Sega just, it seems like that's the only bullet they got loaded in the chamber these days. There, anytime you hear anything from them, it's like, hey, it's Sonic. Remember when you liked Sonic? No, I can't actually remember when that was.
Never.
Yeah, so that's that. I've got the trailer up, so if you're interested in watching more about it, go for it. But I'm gonna take it off now. And who wants to do the next one? This is kind of not a big deal at all, right?
Which one?
Of course, it's a big deal. The internet's been
Kojima.
crazy at this.
Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Kojima has a logo now. I will show the whole trailer because it's like 40 seconds long. Okay, so Kojima Productions just spent like $1 bajillion making a new logo. You've probably seen it if you've been around the internet, but it's apparently like a skull inside of some kind of helmet with some gears turning and other business.
And on the moon.
They created a trailer just to unveil the logo because Kojima knows how to spend money.
And there's a ghost
very
whale.
Wisely.
That's digital.
What is?
There's a ghost whale that's digital on the moon.
Yeah.
It makes a splash somehow on the moon.
Yep. So I'll just show it one more time in case you missed it the first time.
What the fuck is going on here?
I don't know. Seifer might be able to tell us, but he's not here. I think he understands how to speak ancient Kojima.
I think I can channel it.
Like, how much money was spent on this logo?
Whatever amount it was too much money. That's the answer.
Too much
angst. Many dollar.
Okay, so that's off screen now.
Memory.
Take us to the last two. I don't care who does it anymore. Let's make it happen. I want to go eat food. All right, fine. Some game called Summon Night 6 is coming to the West in February. I imagine that AI probably knows what this game is.
It's a strategy RPG.
If it's coming to the West, it probably came from the East.
Yes.
One would surmise.
Yes, you could tell by the Japanese on the trailer.
Okay, very good.
I could not find an English one.
Ukulele released a toy box. I don't even know what that is, actually.
You could play around with the what they have developed so far.
Oh, okay. So it's like hey, here's a cool little dev kit we give you to mess around with physics in the game?
Well, it's not a dev kit. It's just you could mess around with some of the elements of the game. Yeah.
You get it if you're a backer, I imagine.
Yep. I need to
are,
go download mine.
Yeah, people are pretty happy with how it's turned out so far.
Alrighty. Okay, so you get 1 minute to tell us about why these schoolgirls in skirts matters.
I don't know why it matters, but yeah, there's a Idolmaster game, Idolmaster Platinum Stars. I could say it in Japanese, but I'm not going to.
Don't bother.
But it's basically the same thing as saying Idolmaster Platinum Stars in English. Yeah, because my Japanese is terrible, but
that's okay. So there's girls dancing. That'll come up in about 5 seconds.
Yes.
Slight jiggle physics. That's well done. Subtle, but
and
good.
these games sell like hotcakes in Japan for whatever reason. You manage an idol team and you play like mini games and stuff, and they have lots and lots of DLC, and everyone buys the DLC. Spends thousands of dollars of DLC in this game, microtransactions. And I don't know. I don't get it. There's going to be a VR one too, called Viewing Revolution, because obviously that's what VR stands for.
I get the feeling that everyone in Japan wants to be a K-pop star.
K-pop? They have J-pop.
Or J-pop, yeah. Is that true?
Yes.
They just want to touch little schoolgirls.
I get that same feeling, but
I don't think you actually touch the girls in this one. You just watch them.
Oh, okay. That's definitely less invasive, so that would be legal. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't get this, but I guess if you like listening to J-pop and you want little girls dancing around.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about
you
Batman.
Could dress them
again.
up and stuff. So yeah. Okay.
Cheaper than a plane ticket.
Okay. All right. Take us to the upcoming games. There's not that many.
So yeah, it just got a release
August,
trailer.
Almost.
It's got a release trailer, and of course Telltale's releasing an episode already. Their output is pretty insane.
It really is.
But yeah, Batman the Telltale series is releasing its visual novel adventure game. I call it visual novel. I mean, I guess some people would have a problem with that, but
I guess they still kind of are. Realistically, I mean,
you click, you make choices.
Yeah, you're essentially creating a story. When you're looking at stuff, it is a visual novel in a sense. Certainly not a walking simulator.
But it's coming out for every system imaginable except the Wii. So PS4, Xbox One, and PC, the ones that matter.
I don't think it comes out on 3DS either, right?
No 3DS, no Vita.
Okay.
It's weird it's not coming out on Vita. Usually you do come out on Vita. You also got Abzu. This game has been showing trailers forever. I mean,
yeah, right. This
I
is
think we
the
talked about this like
GameStop
E3
published one.
2014. Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin style game.
Is it GameStop published?
I thought
No,
this
I think
one
that was Song of the Deep.
Oh, Song of the Deep. You're right. Yeah, I'm incorrect.
You might be correct. I don't know. GameStop was published in more than one game. But
Someone want to look that up? Hands are tied doing trailers.
Yeah, it's an underwater game. It looks like it might be okay. I haven't really been sold on this game yet, but
It's 505 Games. They're publishing it.
yes, it's coming out for PS4, PC, August 2nd.
Alrighty.
So next up, this looks like a really fun game to play on a game night, except it doesn't have multiplayer.
Doesn't have multi. Yeah, it's.
But it's called Overcooked. It's coming out for Xbox One and PC. It's a cooking game, kind of like
Diner Dash.
Diner Dash.
Yeah, that old Diner Dash. Those were interesting finger clicky games that kept you occupied for hours before mobile became a thing.
I think they're really making a mistake not having some sort of network multiplayer, because I think this game will just be perfect for that type of
absolutely.
thing. I don't think.
Who knows? Maybe it'll come some down the line. You know.
Yeah, for PC especially. I mean, you can't really have co-op on PC.
Yeah.
So it just feels weird all the time. But it's coming out on Xbox One and PC. I did look if this is coming out on PS4, and I could not find anything, so I don't believe it is. It's coming out August 3rd.
All right.
So next up, this might be a game people have heard of. I think
no one's ever heard of this one.
Talks about this a lot.
Oh my god, so many times, so much.
It's called No Man's Sky.
Oh, what's this game about? Core, do you know what this game's about?
I don't think anyone knows what this game is about.
Anyone figured it out?
I think Nodi has left us.
Oh yeah, you think he left us? Oh yeah, look at that. He disconnected. Okay.
But yeah, it's a space survival exploration game, I guess, where stuff is procedurally generated. And we've still seen a lot of this game, and it hasn't really shown too well, but the press is just eating this up. And
you know, they just, you know, this is like almost like a We Happy Few thing where we have an idea about what this game is. It's either going to be spot on or way the fuck off. So
yeah, this game is either going to be the game of all time, or it's going to be it's going to be
for the next Destiny.
I'm not going to say terrible, but it
We'll
won't
see.
live up to people's expectations.
Well, we'll see. We'll certainly see.
So speaking of possible terrible, we got a Ubisoft warning. I think we need some sort of sound effect to go.
Warning. Ubisoft sucks.
Yes. So they're making Uno. Let's see if they can. It's coming out on PS4, August 9th.
Don't give them your money.
There's no video for
Fuck
it.
those guys.
There's no trailer. I could not find a trailer.
Come on, it's fucking Uno. Yeah, it doesn't need a trailer.
They could fuck it up. They fucked up Tetris.
To be like, we're putting out a poker game. You want to see a gameplay trailer, or do you just want to turn on ESPN? I mean, you know what the fuck it is, right?
I mean, I think Uno. You know, Ubisoft could be good sometimes. You know, they make okay games every once in a while, but
yeah, they're smaller studios. Ubisoft Montpellier makes decent games. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to definitely watch out for these games, and buyer beware. You should wait for reviews, see if they work. If they work, go buy it.
Because the Tetris game was a huge fucking buggy mess, trying to connect to your Facebook friends list constantly and lagging yourself out of the game. They managed to screw up Tetris, so who knows what they're gonna do with Uno? Because that's way more complex than Tetris.
So it's coming out on PS4. Also, it's coming out on PS4 August 9th. Also from Ubisoft, they're apparently doing Risk and Battleship, but this is for Xbox One for whatever reason, and that's coming out August 3rd.
Okay, they're doing like some arcade game style games, like
I guess they got the IP for these games, and they're throwing them out there.
That's fair. And if they think that they're gonna make a couple pennies here and there by having the IP, then
I mean, Uno is a great game.
Uno's amazing. I love Uno.
Yeah.
I'll play Uno for hours.
I don't know about playing Risk online.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Games
it's terrible in real life,
Even with the short intervals and everything, it takes too long.
I play Diplomacy, but it's hard to digitize.
Battleship is Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship's kind of one note. Okay, so that's all the upcoming games and announcements. We don't have any updates for our video game draft update. The only game that's coming out to add to the score pool is No Man's Sky, which we just mentioned on August 9th. So
Yeah.
that's, and I'll be really curious to see what the initial review scores are on No Man's Sky. Reviewers will probably have it in their hand by the end of this week, and you'll probably see. I guess the NDA is probably going to release lift on release day. I would imagine for that game.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't exactly know either what Hello Games is doing with that, but probably how it's going to go. Review copies will go out this week.
There was a few quick score updates.
Okay.
Somehow Adrift got reviewed. I think it released on Xbox.
Oh, are you serious?
It dropped 6 points.
Dropped 6 points.
It's now 58.
Holy
points.
hell!
That is low.
That's the lowest score.
Congrats, you beat out
Star Ocean
for most terrible game.
That's awful.
Noise.
Wow, that
that
gets
was
me in the
great,
feels.
So has he like officially won this yet? I mean, he's
pretty close.
He 5 releases.
So speaking of Cipher, Ashes of Singularity somehow went up a point.
Fuck that guy.
Because he needed it.
Yeah, sure
did. Most terrible game on here was the most terrible game until Adrift beat out. Star Ocean went down a point. So yeah, great. And also for me, it was more points. Zero Time Dilemma. I guess the PC version didn't score as well, so it went down 4 points.
I see. Okay. Well, them's the breaks. That's what you get with drafting, and Metacritic scores do change periodically. Game patches and updates and stuff go live, and people go back and review the score and stuff on Steam, and maybe even some reviewers do, and scores change. Especially new platform releases, like I said, scores change.
I hate my life.
That's just how the cookie crumbles. I don't know where Core Contingency went, but we're going to wrap this thing up because I have to go make some bacon wrapped chicken. We are going to see you guys in 2 weeks on Sunday, August 14th for our 71st podcast episode. If you like what you're listening to, please follow me on the Twitch channel, which is Gray Geraldin, JROILDYN. You can also listen to us on iTunes by typing in IGC Podcast or something like that. Follow us on Twitter at Impact_GamingCM and also on YouTube at Impact Gaming Videos, where all the video feeds for this go up after the live broadcast here. And of course, if you want to email us, just email us at podcast@impact-gaming.us, and we'll answer your questions while we're on the show if you really want to. But that's it. We're wrapping up. We're going to see you guys next time. Thank you to Core Contingency, AI Monster, Papa J for being here, and Chocobro. Hope you feel better. Hopefully you listen to this episode, catch up a little, and be like, oh man, they really like me a lot over there. It really sucks that I was sick. I'm going to try not to get sick again in the future, because man, that really sucked. And sorry we missed you, Cipher. Hopefully you're not dead somewhere as well. But yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And
he's not picking flowers in Final Fantasy.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if he plays Final Fantasy anymore. I haven't seen him in a while.
He gets playing Metal Gear.
Yeah, okay. Please don't get your hopes up. All right.
Pachinko.
We'll see you guys later. Game on.